Hi, folks, and happy Friday. It is June 27th, 2025, and it looks like we might get some rain here in just a second. I am really hoping that it cools it down because it's a little warm. I am coming to you today because we had our first board of director meeting under the new board. So as you know, June 25th, earlier this week, we had our annual meeting, and that meeting, in addition to some other updates from various committees, included announcement of our two new board of director candidates. And so, well, they're not candidates anymore. They're members of our board, but the winners of this year's election for those two open positions were Wayne Anderson and Lee Fossett. So again, congratulations to them. They joined our board this morning, and we had our first open board meeting today. I was there, and it lasted less than 5 minutes. And I want to take us through it. There was some. I mean, we only had two topics, right? They announced the new officers for the upcoming year and the signatory authority on our bank account. So we're going to talk through those two agenda items. There were two questions from those sitting in the room, and it was really well attended. During the meeting, I will say that we had 42 people live streaming with us, which was way more people than would have ever fit in that room. And in addition to the people in the room, which I don't have the official count, but we would have had over 50 people attend this board meeting while it was live. So Louise posted, I think, the link to the live stream on Facebook less than 30 minutes before we went live. I did not have the chance to post it on Nextdoor, but it was really, really well attended. So I want to thank everybody that took some time, whether you were driving or you were sitting at work and could listen into something else. Thank you so much for those that tuned in to the live stream to be a part of that. So with that, let's watch this. Again, it was less than 5 minutes, so this is going to be super brief. Okay. All right, let's play this meeting. First lesson learned. I was there. I was recording. It is on. Let me show you. FHPOA Board has a YouTube channel. Please go out and like and subscribe to that channel so that you get new information out there. I recorded a couple of other meetings for Fairfield Harbor. I plan to download that content and upload it to the FHPOA Board YouTube channel. That I do feel like, this is my own personal opinion, that we should have a singular point of contact for all Fairfield Harbor Property Owner Association board related content. And so if YouTube can be it for all live streams and video content, I would like for that to be it. I created this channel for the board to use at its discretion in January when I recorded the annual budget meeting. And so I hope that it will continue. I will, like I said, upload my content and make sure that it is put out there. But I hope that it is something that Al, oh my gosh, his first name just escaped me. Finlayson. They own other Fairfield Harbor related YouTube channels, and Finlayson was the one recording this year's annual budget meeting. But if we could download those and upload them here and have a singular point of contact for all Fairfield Harbor board sanctioned events where they are live streamed and or recorded, I just think that would be so helpful to the community. So I plan to do that for all of my content. I will work on that later today and next week. But let's watch this meeting. It is posted out there. It was not posted on my Fairfield Harbor podcast channel. Okay. So let's listen. First lesson learned. I hit go live at the exact same time that Don Moore started talking. And so, food for thought, we need like a hand signal or something that says, if we know we're going to be recording this meeting, I'm going to go live. And then you start talking. And that way we don't have a cutoff at the beginning. There's like a 3 or 5 second delay there. Lesson learned.
10:44, and we're just going to, we had a brief meeting this morning. It lasted longer than we thought it would, but we did elect officers. I was elected president. Chris Barajas was elected vice president. Lee Fossett was elected interim treasurer. Mona Jankowski was elected secretary. And what was the name you came up with for Gloria?
Man.
Gloria Hodgert was elected co-secretary. And she will be doing that for a 90-day period. And other than that, we also...
Okay, so for those newer to Fairfield Harbor and or who have never participated in a board meeting and do not know who any of these people are, I am going to start from the guy in the bright blue shirt down here in front of the TV with the VHS player. Okay, I'm going to start with him with the hat on. That is Chris Barajas. He is now our vice president based on the elections that happened in executive session prior to this open meeting. That is Chris Barajas. Next to him, you have Wayne Anderson. Wayne Anderson is one of our newly elected board of director members from the June 25th election results. You have Don Moore is talking. Don Moore is our board of director president after elections this morning in executive session. Next to him, you have Larry Baisden. You probably heard his name. He's been helping to implement all of the RFID situation. Okay, so that is Larry Baisden. Next to him, you have Lee Fossett. Lee Fossett is our new interim treasurer while we seek a long-term member to fulfill that role. And then you have Mona Jankowski. Mona is going to be our secretary. And then sitting at the table in the gray shirt, that is Gloria Hodgert, and she is going to be our co-secretary, helping over the next 90 days. So, and that's what Chris was saying, her formal title is ma'am. So that is who is sitting at this table here. There were two board, let me see if I can pull it up really fast. If I could spell. Oh, I didn't want to do that. The other two members that were not sitting at the table but are on the board of directors were Mike Foster and Bob Brody. So they were, well, I did see Bob prior to the meeting. He and I talked for a little bit about how early we were. And so we had a good conversation, but he was there. I didn't see Mike, but anywho, my understanding was that they were there for executive session, but weren't able to stay for the open board meeting. So, all right.
So voted on the bank records, signatories on those records. That will be myself, Chris Barajas, and Lee Fossett. And that came up with a resolution to approve. That is resolution 2025-07, which grants us the signatory authority for those bank accounts at Truist, PNC, and Wells Fargo, as well as any other financial institutions we do business with. And that was basically the gist of the meeting today. And that is concludes what was done this morning. So, are there any questions?
Okay, so before we get into questions, there were two questions from Louise in the audience. But so we can expect to see over the next couple days, timely, a new resolution. It's going to be 2025-07, and that allows new signatory authorities to our President Don Moore, Vice President Chris Barajas, and Interim Treasurer Lee Fossett. And so those will be the three folks. Later in the meeting, Wayne is going to bring up a additional point of clarification related to that resolution. I thought it was great, and I'm going to tell you why when we get to that part of the meeting. But that is going to be resolution 2025-07. So let's hear the two questions.
Any questions?
No questions for me?
Okay.
Oh, going forward, when are you going to be doing your community meetings, membership meetings?
At this time, the meetings will remain the fourth Wednesday at 9 a.m. in the community center.
Okay, so another lesson that we can take from this is we did not have a microphone out in the audience, and that's fine, right? As long as the board members sitting at the table heard. But one thing I would encourage our board of directors to do is say, thank you, Louise, if we know the name of the person who is asking the question, correct? Repeat back the question. Here's, because the microphones are on the table. Here's the question that I heard. That way, for those of us listening into the recording, we can understand the question. It was really hard to understand her from the back of the room. And I think that's because on these microphones, I have noise cancellation turned on. So it's cutting out the background noise, similar to my recording the other night when people were standing up clapping at different parts of the meeting. It kind of went silent, not because we were canceling out the clapping, well deserved, but because it was canceling out all of the noise. And so for those where it sounds like there's ambient noise, people talking, I just think those that are sitting at the table with the microphones, be great to repeat the question and then answer. But it does sound like our meetings for right now will continue on the fourth Wednesdays at 9 a.m. in the community center.
Can we rename it again, town hall?
It's a board meeting.
No, I know, but, the town hall. Can we rename the town hall, the night meetings, town hall? Can we rename?
I'm not sure what you're asking, but we will have,
Meeting versus town hall meeting?
we will be engaging in discussions on a revised meeting schedule. And in that discussion and in that topic, there will be some discussions about more town halls for the year and when our meetings will take place.
Yeah, we feel
Daytime, nighttime for membership involvement. But there's nothing in stone yet. It's something that we have to talk about, but it is part of the to-do list for the community.
today was mainly so we could have.
Okay, so it sounds like on the to-do list, there is the discussion of the time and cadence of the ongoing board meetings and any town halls. I think that second question was, can we name it something different than town hall? Is the way that I took the question. We were not fond of that name. It sounded like, and so whatever they're going to be called, right? It sounds like it is on the agenda to talk about what they're going to be called, what will be discussed, and the cadence and time of those meetings.
Banking privileges and get everything aligned with our banking accounts. That starts starts what we need to do to get everything going. Because as it stood right now, we didn't have anybody for banking authority. So with that,
In case anybody's wondering, resolution also says to replace any signatures that are currently on the cards, the signatory cards.
and we will try to have those minutes out.
Okay, so before we get into the whole minutes discussion, I thought that was good. So Lee and Wayne, when they were running for these two open board of director positions, they were running on a platform of open, transparent communication, making sure that what happens in our board meetings, decisions that are made, that the community is involved in those, has an understanding of what is happening at the board level and understands how that impacts them. What I thought was good about what Wayne added to the conversation here is that there was no question asked, but he felt it pertinent to speak up and say, should anybody be asking about whether or not we're just adding 3 more people to signatory authority. That's not what we're doing with resolution 2025-07. We are replacing all existing signatory authorities that exist today. So they will all come off, and the new signatory authorities moving forward will only be 3. And I think he said the banks were Truist, P&G or PNC, and Wells Fargo, and any other banking establishment that we do business with. So we're not just adding 2 existing signatory authorities. We are replacing all existing signatory authorities with these 3 board of director members. And again, the question was not asked, but I do think we're staying consistent with that platform of, here's the resolution that we voted on this morning, and here's what that means for you. And you didn't ask the question, but I think it's important that you know that this is what that also means. And I just thought that was really good, a good add to the conversation.
Timely. So do we have an estimate where we might have those?
Timely.
Timely?
Timely.
Hey,
Gloria's very good at timing.
yeah, we will get those out as soon as possible. So, any other questions?
No, I ain't ready.
All right, with that, I'll call this meeting.
I was going.
I'll move to motion to adjourn.
Okay, so then we follow Robert's rules, right? We have a motion to adjourn. Don Moore made the motion. Larry Baisden seconded.
All in favor? Aye.
And then it was unanimous, even people out in the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, Don has a motion.
Okay, we don't need to watch it again. But yeah, I thought it was a very good first, obviously I can't control my computer. Thought it was a really good first open board meeting. Again, just 2 topics, super short meeting, less than 5 minutes. But I hope you enjoyed this first meeting. I would love to hear if you participate in the live stream, if you've watched it on replay, crew, couldn't be there live while it happened, but you plan to watch it later. And are you planning to watch the future board meetings at whatever cadence they are? I am hoping again that they stay recording these meetings, because I do think it's important for those of us that can't always attend, whether it's have to take care of kids or we work or, we have jobs elsewhere. We don't live here full time and we just own a property here and want to stay engaged. I do hope that folks will continue to push for these meetings to be recorded and that the board will follow suit, because I thought it was super helpful this morning. So with that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend and we will talk soon. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.